Welcome back to MMA Al Dente. Anton Turkalj versus Vitor Petrino. Turkalj's 8-1. He's got one loss to Jailton Almeida, which is very forgivable considering he took the fight on very short notice, went up a weight class. It was a catch weight fight of 220 or whatever, which could be looked at as everybody, Jailton and everybody accommodating Turkalj, but still. For a guy that is now a heavyweight, it seems like an accommodation the other way. Either way, very forgivable loss. And his record, aside from that loss, is 8-0 with 7 finishes. The thing is, he hasn't beaten too many good fighters at all. I think I said in my pre-fight video for his last fight against Almeida that he's beaten some guys who have beaten some other guys. And I think I misread what I wrote, which was the opposite of that he's beaten some guys who haven't beaten anybody else. But, his one win over the Contender Series over whoever the fuck, Ocasio dos Santos or whatever, was pretty much him being reduced to a wet blanket. And that was not something that was going to endear himself to Dana White and the UFC brass. But stepping up on short notice to fight someone like Jailton Almeida, that'll do. So here he is fighting Vitor Petrino. Vitor knocked pretty much everybody out. That will endear him to everybody, myself included. He's got 7 wins, 6 KOs, 1 decision. Never been defeated, aside from once as an amateur. But still, there's a lot of promise with Petrino. He's a violent son of a bitch. The guy he beat on the Contender Series was this Rodolfo Bellato. Solid guy that he knocked out with one punch in 30 seconds early in his career, and then they rematched a few years later on the Contender Series, having both won a good amount of fights, and Petrino was in a real fight this time. Bellato gave him a good fight, and we got to see some heart and some resolve from Petrino, being almost submitted and knocked out, or not knocked down anyway, and he was hurt, and he still looked really good in that fight and ended up getting a beautiful finish. Just a gigantic left hook again, I believe. And he's a violent guy, gets everybody out of there early unless they're worth a fuck. Like, again, the Bellato guy in the Contender Series and Antigulov, who used to be in the UFC, or Antigulov. He got him out of there in round 2. But still, Vitor Petrino is a bona fide finisher. And I do think he's probably going to put away Anton Turkalj. I can't guarantee he's going to put him away, but still he's shown enough overall good traits as a fighter where I'm trusting him to win this fight. I like him winning by finish, but it's not worth it to bet on it. The prop bet for me is it's plus 150, whatever. I'd rather play it safe and just take the money line at minus 115. Turkalj's only been finished once, and it was the Jailton Almeida. He might be the toughest guy ever on the feet. We don't know that. But I do trust that Vitor Petrino is going to have more for him. And Turkalj, I think he could find some success against Petrino, slowing the fight down. But I don't think the wet blanket thing's going to work against Petrino. I think physicality will be the difference here. So I'm taking Vitor Petrino. Minus 115 is my bet. And yeah, we'll see what happens. Like, share, subscribe, all that horse shit. Check out my other videos.